Hello everybody, welcome back to another digital version of the week. We've already done the paper version, as you can see on the screen here, which is this this thing here, which you can see. Hang on, trying to make that a little bit bigger. Zip. Alright, there we go. We're doing the half and half again, and as always guys, this has been done on a Monday, sketched on a Monday, inked on a Tuesday, then on a Wednesday I coloured it in, and I did a mixture of a few different tones and colours on this one so I could actually get the skin tone right. Check that video out to sort of see what I mean by that. Again, the picture that you're seeing isn't great because I'm using my webcam to record the image that you see, but that doesn't mean that the digital version is going to be as bad, and that's what we're doing today guys. Like I said, we've done the paper version and we've done the half and half. If you didn't check that out guys, we're going to be doing the skin tone for the Bruce Banner half, and then we'll go moving on to the Hulk half as well. It all depends on how long this is going to take me. I'll try and do this all in one go. Well, just for the basic colour. Again, we always do the basic colour on a Thursday, which is today, and on a Friday we will try and put some tonal colours to it, maybe give it a background, maybe give it a shine here and there to add a few effects, because this guys is called the app that I'm using to colour this in the digital version is called Critter. It's completely free, and my computer screen has just turned itself off. It's taken to being a pain in my ass, so every so often I've got to give it a tap. There we go. Yeah, we're going to be using this app called Critter. Again, it's completely free. You've got some tools down in the bottom right here, which you'll use later on. You can use them for hair, which is what I'll be doing in a later video. I may give it just a quick once over for a basic undertone for the colour of the hair, and then I'll go in with more details with the other textures and things like that in the next video guys. So don't forget to hit subscribe. My name's Blut084, BLUT084, Art and Games. I'm here every single day on YouTube, occasionally on Mixer, which is gaming, predominantly, mostly for Xbox games. But don't worry if you can't join me over there guys, because everything I do, I will bring over to the YouTube channel. So don't forget to hit subscribe here and follow me over on Instagram guys, where you can see the picture that I have drawn already. And many more, all versions, from the paper version to the digital version, which again we're going to be doing today. So that's not enough of me waffling on. I want to get some basic colour down. I've already outlined this like I normally do, just because it would have taken me friggin' ages to do it all in one camera. So instead of like messing around and trying to get this proper and correct, again I take the picture that I did before I colour it in, that's in inking stage. I take a picture of that on my tablet and I transfer that image over to this app. Again, this app's completely free guys. It is called Critter, and you can do pretty much what you can do in Photoshop. You've got the blending tools, you've got all sorts of different other tools. I will go through different tools, but if you have a specific tool or a specific thing that you want to see from me or from this app and see what it can do, then definitely ask me in the comment section. I only generally use a certain amount of tools unless I think, oh, I wonder what that would do in this situation, and then I'll use that tool and sort of faff around with it. I'm getting more familiar with the tools on the left hand side here as well. I mean, I obviously know what the colour pick is, and we've got reframing, resizing and all that sort of good jazz, but I don't know what most of these line things do. I don't really bother with them, to be honest with you, and I know a lot of artists don't either. I generally stick to the painter tool here and then use the tools that are in the bottom here, which are absolutely amazing. But we're only going to be putting down the basic colour today, and then we're going to add some shading later. So without further ado, let's add a few more layers. If it don't let me. There we go. We'll name those layers colour for the Hulk. So we'll get rid of that there. Colour for Hulk. Hopefully I've spelt that word right. Colour, and we'll have Hulk. for that one, and I'll put that as 1 just for now, and we'll that okay, and then we'll go to this one. We'll go banner, color, not color banner, sorry, color, banner 1. There we go. Alright, so that's okay on that one. Yeah, so we've got the basic thing here. I could completely get rid of it if I really would so, but it is a handy tool for me to have, sort of to keep with the actual lines that I want to keep here. We'll darken off the hair here. We'll put hair on the Hulk, and we'll put some green, some basic green on the Hulk, and we'll put some basic skin color over on the banner side. Try and do a bit of shading color to the eyes and get some of that good stuff done today. I try not to take too long when I do this. So if you guys are a fan of this, don't forget to keep watching, because we're going to be listening to the Hulk playlist as well as always. We've got playlists in the background that we listen to while I draw. That's way too dark. While I draw here, or colour in at this point. You'll see in a moment while I've done 2 different tones of colour. Do you know what? Fuck it. Let's go over a lot of it. You'll see in a moment. Actually, I think I've already got the colour I wanted to use. No, I do not. That's similar to what I want to use. But yeah. Sorry, guys. Oh, I haven't been very well the past couple of days. Last week. This is why I wasn't live at all last week. I just uploaded a load of my videos for gaming from my Mixer channel. Oh dear. But yeah, you'll see in a moment why we've got 2 different tones. So if I was to do tone colour here, whoops, I've gone too far. Let's get that horrible colour which I was going to use a moment ago. Because it's an underneath colour, it'll go underneath. So you can't overlap anything. To say if you were going to do a colour and then you think, oh no, do you know what, I really can't get around going underneath or going around that. You don't have to. Do what you want to do, and it will, you can, as any other main app that you can use for drawing and colouring, you can do layers. Hence why I've done the Hulk layer, and I've done a banner layer, and the same I've done for the what's it called here? Done the same for the inking part of it. Again, I did all that off stream because it's just me drawing it all over again. You've already seen me draw it in the paper version. Yeah, but I want to get the playlist going in the background. It's going to be Comic Storian, and we're going to be continuing on where we left off from the last video with that playlist. The same playlist. It's just it's a continual rolling one, which I always listen to, and hopefully you guys enjoy it too. Comic Storian. I don't always listen to comics, so if you have a audiobook or if you have something that you want me to listen to, let me know and I will get that playing in the background, because I'm always open for more and more experimental things to do. So I'd love for you guys to let me know what you want me to have a go at. I've had a request already for Alita, Battle Angel, so I might do that next week, because we're going to be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Because we will be going into another month, which means we'll be having another theme. Because every month has a new theme. This month is half and half. Last month was 3 become 1. And next week, or next month, will be 1 of a kind. But without further ado, let's get the playlist going so I can concentrate and just get drawing.
What if someone were able to control the new totally awesome Hulk? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I bring it dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Amadeus Cho is currently the totally awesome Hulk. He took the ability to change into the Hulk away from Bruce Banner, making himself the new Hulk. Last time we learned that he was still having problems keeping it under control, and now it's time for the next story arc. It was 3 years ago that Amadeus' life changed. There was an explosion, and he lost his family. Everyone except Maddie, But as he continues to think about what happened that day, he begins to wake up and he discovers that he's laying on the edge of a cliff, and he has no idea how he got there. Above him, his sister Maddie flies down with her flying food truck, the one that they use as their base, asking what happened. He hulked out in the middle of the night and he ran off. Amadeus tells her that he's not sure, but no one got hurt, right? She tells him no one did, but the problem is that it appears that somebody else was controlling him, because he was acting really weird, and they need to figure out who it is. Maddie begins to run various tests with combat robots trying to make Amadeus angry. She even shoots him in the face and down below. And that's when they discover that Amadeus is still in control. So she suggests that maybe they should go talk to Tony Stark. But Amadeus reminds her that Tony wanted to send Bruce Banner to the negative zone before he found a way to take all of the gamma radiation away. She then suggests that maybe they should go talk to Banner himself. And Amadeus once again reminds her that he freed Banner from this. He will not bring it back to him. And Maddie goes on to state that Banner's Hulk referred to him as Puny Banner. So maybe this makes Amadeus angry and he changes into the Hulk, telling her that he is not Banner! He is in control! She is supposed to be on his side! Amadeus then begins to storm off, and as he goes, Maddie tells him that she is on his side. It's the other guys that she's worried about. As Amadeus walks off on his own, he begins to notice coyote pups are whining after seeing their mother struck by a car. He reaches down to pet them, and they begin to whine even louder. Amadeus turns around to see a green light, and then he sees Amora, the enchantress before him. Amora tells him that she is here for him. She knows that the Hulk is an outcast, and if he would come with her, she can make him the king of the 10 realms. He tells her that being king is kind of hard work, you know, with all of the being hated, feared, and rejected stuff, so he's gonna stay right here. She then tries to anger him, trying to provoke him to release the other Hulk, but Amadeus still defies her. Amora then begins to create giant golems, and Amadeus begins to change into the Hulk and take them out. But her target was not him. Her target was the puppies. One of the golems begins to attack the puppies, and this sends Amadeus off into a blind rage. He begins to destroy the golems, and then he stands before Amora, and she asks him if he's ready now, and the Hulk smiles and laughs. And then Amora hands out her hand. Later, Amadeus wakes up in the middle of the street with Maddie calling out to him, and Maddie asks him what's going on, and Amadeus tells her it was the Enchantress. She made him mad. Before Amadeus can explain any further though, a crack of lightning strikes before them, and then the mighty Thor descends upon them. She tells them please continue. She would love to hear about how the Enchantress plans to conquer Asgard. Amadeus asks her, wait, what? And Thor tells him that he has joined with Amora's schemes against Asgard. He even has her love bite. Amadeus tells her that he can't remember anything, and he sure does wish that he remembers what this love bite came from. Thor then tosses Amadeus across a field, telling him fine, she will talk to the one who would remember. And then in the field, Amadeus stands up as the Hulk, but he's still acting like Amadeus. Thor begins to beat on him repeatedly, trying to get him mad enough to change into the other Hulk, the one that works for Amora. But Maddie runs up, telling her to stop, telling her that this is the new Hulk. He's a superhero, so if he did work with Amora, then there must have been a reason. Amadeus agrees. He just needs to remember. Thor tells Amadeus that maybe his memory will return if she takes him to see the damage that he caused. So the three of them head over to the Dwarven outpost in Iceland, where the leader explains to Hulk that he came here and took their Ura. Who? Amadeus asks. The leader goes on to tell him that Ura is a precious mineral used to forge Mjolnir and create all of the Asgardians' greatest weapons. Amadeus then turns to the dwarves and tells them that he may not remember what he did, but he is sorry for what he's done, and he will get their mineral back. All Maddie has to do is scan for the minerals in Mjolnir, and they should be able to locate Amora. But in another part of Iceland, Amora watches as the Dark Elves continue to work on their new weapons. And soon, Amadeus and Thor come crashing into the cave with them. Amora looks back and states that she was wondering where her monster ran off to. Is he back to claim his throne? Amadeus tells her that he will never be her king. And Amora tells him fine, that they will just have a little battle and see what his better half has to say. The battle begins with Thor and Amadeus quickly getting overrun with these new weapons, and Thor tells Amadeus that they need to retreat. But as they try to run away, Thor notices Amadeus changing back into a human, and he asks, what? You said retreat! As they're running, they notice Maddie climbing down into this cave, and Thor tries to go and fight off the oncoming elves. As Maddie gets down, she asks Amadeus why he's not the Hulk, and he tells her that he's worried that Amora will cast her spell again if he blacks out. Maddie then asks, what is it? What is it that's making you black out? And Amadeus tells her it's when he thinks about their parents being killed and how it's all his fault. He knows that Maddie hates him for it. Maddie tells him yes, she is mad, but that is their business, not Amora's. So go on, get mad. Just be mad at her. Amadeus begins to change into the Hulk, and he begins to shout! And Amora says that it looks like the monster that she knows. Now come and claim your weapon. Hulk steps up, and he takes the giant battle axe, and he begins to laugh. And then he turns and slams it down, hitting the Dark Elves, destroying the weapons that they just made. He then steps up. Amora tries to call him an ingrate, and Maddie tases her, telling her to shut up. Thor tells him, that it seems like he did it, and she'll be taking that axe now. Amadeus asks if he can keep it, and Thor tells him no, it belongs to the dwarves. After handing over the axe, Thor turns back and tells Amadeus it seems that he's found his mind with his sister's help, so she'll be keeping an eye on them for now on, but for the sake of the realms, keep an eye on each other. Later, Amadeus and Maddie go back to their parents' grave, and after laying down some flowers, Amadeus tries to talk to Maddie, but she just tells him to shut up. She knows. The two of them sit down, holding each other. Now, the next story after this is when we finally find out what Bruce Banner has been doing ever since Amadeus Cho took over. So if you want to read it yourself, go check out issue number 7. Otherwise, we'll wait for the story to end and cover it just like we did with this one. Hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Comic Story and on Instagram at Comic Story, and I'll see you next time right here.
I'm just going to pause that there and then come on back. Alright, ooh, fall off my chair as well. Let's go and turn an alarm off in the other room. Right, okay, so we're 15 minutes, that's actually not too bad. But yeah, as you can see, I'm doing the Hulk here. I've done different layers. I'm just going to move that out of the way there so you can see what I've done. Actually incredibly fuzzy, I do apologise for that. But yeah, as you can see in the top right hand, whatever, just below the picture of the when I'm moving here, you'll see that I've coloured the Hulk in. I did do a little bit on the banner, but that was because I needed an underneath layer. So I'll probably be doing that quite often. I'll do that for the eye, but anything on top of the green will be on top of the green, obviously, because I can't do it underneath. But what I did was I moved the layer 1 just so I could copy the eyebrow and keep the hair where it should be, because as you saw just a minute ago I couldn't figure out where the hair should be from where it was. So that's what I'll be doing probably a lot through this video, moving stuff around, but I'll move that layer again to the bottom, as that's the paper version, and it will overlap. As you can see, it changed the tone and the colour of the Hulk that you can see here, which I didn't like. I hate it when it does that, so I don't. That's why I do over the top, and then I just sort of recopy everything that I've already kind of done, and I'll keep doing like that. But yeah, doing some more Hulk. We're going to be just going through it again. I'm using a different tool here. It's more of a sprayer paint tool at the bottom, more so than the other one, but that's because it makes a good undertone for like a hair, which you'll see in the next video. How I'll do hair. It is a tool, and it's basically called the hair tool. But yeah, keep watching, guys, and enjoy. My knee, I bang my knee. Adverts.
Tired of people not taking your growing business seriously? At the Crystal Barn, Sober Wing.
Crystal Barn.
Just because Bruce Banner is
Fucking
dead
weirdos.
doesn't mean he can't be used as a weapon for the enemy. Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down to the digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. In the Marvel Universe, there is a conflict going on known as Civil War II. This is the debate over whether or not we should act on the future knowledge of events. And through the knowledge of Bruce Banner turning into the Hulk again and killing everyone, the heroes of the Marvel Universe went to stop him. The argument escalated, and it grew worse, and in the heat of the moment, Hawkeye shot Bruce Banner, killing him. While that conflict and the fallout of Hawkeye's actions are told in another story, known as Civil War II, Steve Rogers' Unity Group was at the event. The Unity Group was Steve Rogers' attempt to bridge the gap between all of the factions of the Marvel Universe, and they are basically Steve Rogers' group of Avengers. On the team is Deadpool, Synapse an Inhuman, Rogue a mutant, Cable a mutant, Dr. Voodoo an individual of the mystic arts, the Human Torch, a meta who can turn on fire, and Quicksilver another mutant. Being as diverse a group as they all have a different stance on the entire Civil War II debate, and the first thing that happens is Deadpool tries to break into the prison that Hawkeye is being held in to free him. He wants to know why he did this, and he set up Clint with a new identity to allow him to walk free. Clint refuses to go though. He wants to take his chances within the court, and while he used to hate Deadpool, he understands him now. Deadpool makes the hard choices for people so that others don't have to, like Clint did with Bruce Banner. Deadpool tells him, yeah, it gets easier. It's the first kill that's the hardest. But after a while, I'm sure he'll be the next Punisher. And as Clint chuckles at that comment, Deadpool wished him luck in the courts and says that he'll see him in 25 to life. Meanwhile, Steve Rogers gets called to New Attilan because of a vision. Ulysses, the new Inhuman that the entire Civil War II event is based around, warns Captain America that his team is about to make some very poor decisions. And it's not Deadpool that he has to worry about. It's Cable, and the Children of the Atom are about to wage war against the Inhumans. Ulysses explains that Cable is keeping rather poor company right now, and Cap has to stop it. So he heads off to find Cable, and he finds him on a rainy night loading up a plane for a vacation. He shows up with the entire law enforcement team to talk it out with Cable, but Cable pushes him aside, telling him that it's just a vacation. And when he loads up in his plane, Steve stands there doubting him. On board, we see Rogue is ready to go, along with Sebastian Shaw and Toad, because they're going to find the cure to save mutant kind. If you haven't been following the mutant storylines, recently a cloud of Terrigen mist has been let loose upon the world. While this makes new Inhumans, allowing them to grow, the very same cloud will kill any mutant who breathes it. It's been a time of tension between the mutants and the Inhumans, but Cable and Rogue feel that they might have a cure to save everyone. Meanwhile, over in Tokyo, an evil organization known as the Hand is aware of the passing of Bruce Banner, and they feel that under some of their spells, he might come in handy. You know, if they would raise him from the dead. While this is happening, Deadpool goes to visit Quicksilver in the hospital. He's been recovering ever since Ultron broke his leg in multiple spots, and we see that he's on the phone with a friend. But it's not the friend that we're expecting, as we see on the other side, it's Red Skull using the brain of Xavier that he stole to manipulate Quicksilver. Deadpool goes with Quicksilver and Synapse to the funeral of Bruce Banner, where Steve asks him, where are the rest of the mutants? Why aren't they here, Deadpool? Deadpool tells him, I have no idea, Steve. And Steve warns him. Tony Stark is about to wage war with the Inhumans over the Ulysses thing. If the mutants are also going to start a fight on another front, there's going to be hell to pay. While this is happening, Cable, Rogue, Shaw, and Toad are attacking a military base where they are testing the Terrigen mist to see if they can find a cure. As they run out of the base with the research, we find Deadpool standing in the plane, munching on a snack, telling them, you know, I had to lie to Steve Rogers for you. You owe me one. Except, Steve isn't dumb. As he stands there looking at the group, I warned you. We're in the middle of a war, and my own team of Avengers protecting Unity is breaking into a military base. Cable glares at him. You know what we're up against, Rogers. The Team Mists are killing mutants. Step aside. We're leaving with the research. As Steve throws his shield at Toad, knocking him down. Rogue tries to talk down Steve, but he's furious. Now you want to talk? The only way this ends is you all facing justice. Shaw steps forward. Captain, mutant kind does not have years that it'll take to convince the military to share this data. And Cable blasts Shaw with his gun. Let's speed this up. Now charged up, Shaw asks Captain to stand down so they don't have to fight. But Steve's not stepping aside, and the fight begins. Steve punches Shaw, and then Cable tackles him to the ground. He begins to choke him with one hand while he gets ready to hit him with the other, and Rogue knocks Cable off of him, stopping it. She holds him down, telling him, everyone get on the plane. And Steve calls out, do not let them get on that plane, Deadpool. Deadpool looks down at the case with the research, and he debates his actions. But in the end, while Steve is his friend, his daughter might be a mutant. He can't let a cure pass him by, and he throws it to Toad. Everyone except Steve, Rogue, and Deadpool leave the area. Deadpool tries to explain the situation with his daughter, but Steve doesn't care. You lied to me at my own friend's funeral. You're fired, Wilson. And then Rogue tries to defend Deadpool, and Steve says, the entire team is finished. There is no unity in the Unity Squad, which may prove a problem shortly as the Hand begins to raise the corpse of Bruce Banner out of the ground. Rogue and Deadpool sit down to talk about what they're going to do now in their destroyed base of operations. It hasn't been repaired since Ultron wrecked it. That's when Voodoo warns them that they need to get the Avengers together to fight against a weapon of mass destruction, the resurrected body of Bruce Banner. The Hand is about to turn him to their side. Realizing they'll need help in this potential battle in Japan, they decide to get the rest of the Avengers that they can find. Johnny Storm, Quicksilver, Synapse, and Wasp. The team questions where Rogers and Cable are, but Rogue says that they'll explain it later, and Voodoo makes a doorway to Japan. They arrive and they immediately meet up with Elektra and the Hand as the Hand launches an attack on the team. In the middle of Tokyo, an all-out battle begins with Rogue demanding to know where the body of Bruce Banner is being moved to. Once they drop them all, Voodoo reads the thoughts of one of the guys and learns of the location, once again teleporting the entire team to the Hand's hideout. They tear through the agents of the Hand trying to get to Banner's body, and they actually succeed. They get there and they stop the ritual that is going to revive him. no big evil Hulk to fight until they discover that it was all a ploy to get them away from the real Hulk, who was resurrected hours ago, and he comes crashing through the wall. His hit knocked the entire team out of the building and into the snow, where Deadpool wakes up in a footprint of the Hulk because he got stepped on. Rogue and Human Torch rocket off to find a way to get the Hulk away from the populated areas, and Deadpool lets his brain mend. Siri, call Cable. I'm sorry, Your Highness. I don't understand a ball table. Maybe the Hand could resurrect Steve Jobs so I can kill him next time. Cable, I know you're there. Hear me! Over with Cable and their little group, they realize that the research that they've retrieved is worthless and they're back to square one. And that's when Cable gets a news report about the team in a fight in Japan. He asks Shaw and Toad to join him as he teleports to Japan, and at first they agree, but when they poke their heads through the teleporter, they see everyone fighting the Hulk, and they realize that it's a rather bad idea to join Cable right now. They hit the Hulk with everything as they try to stomp him, and the Hulk charges at Cable, and he says to himself, damn it, what a stupid way to die. Until Rogue hits the Hulk with full momentum, launching him into the sky. No one dies today. He digs his hand into the ground to catch and steady himself, and then in his rampage, he grabs the giant Gundam statue and throws it into a building. The Avengers try to get the 4 survivors out of the town, and Voodoo arrives, stating he can end this zombie Hulk, but he'll need 10 minutes to prepare. Rogue tells him he has 5, and Quicksilver carries him away to an isolated island known as Hashima Island. He asks how they're going to get the Hulk here, and Quicksilver chuckles. I have no idea. And whoosh, he's gone. Meanwhile, Janet shrinks down and tries to talk some sense to him. Bruce, it's me, Janet. I know something terrible has happened to you. Well, actually, a bunch of terrible things happened at once. I need you to fight this, Bruce. The Hulk is the strongest that there is, but I need you to be stronger. And the Hulk smashes his own head to get her out. Quicksilver runs by, catching her as she falls, and Rogue hits him in the jaw. But the hit just threw him in front of a nuclear power plant. Janet flies back over to tell Bruce that she won't let the Hulk win. She knows that this was Banner's worst fear, that the monster would prevail, and she won't let it. Rogue keeps hitting the Hulk around, trying to knock him senseless, until she throws him into the ocean, giving him no time to do any real damage to the nuclear power plant. Except as they get closer to the edge of the area, the Terrigen Mists in the area are severely hindering Rogue's powers. Deadpool tells everyone, I'm pulling her out, and he begins to shoot wildly at the Hulk. Synapse tells everyone that she's suppressing the Hulk's optic nerve, making it hard for him to see, and Elektra tells her, that's not how you blind someone. So she runs in, jumping on his chest, and shoves her sides into his eyes. That's how you blind someone. And Synapse tells her, well, I did it first. Torch zooms in and turns it up to full blast, using everything on the Hulk. And the only thing that he did was burn out the Hulk's clothing as he rampages back to the beach to get his revenge on Johnny. Rogue yells for Johnny to run, and Deadpool yells, oh fudge, he's nude, play dead! Quicksilver quickly runs over, grabbing him, and then Voodoo reports to everyone that he's ready. So Cable body slide teleports the Hulk and everyone right to Brother Voodoo. Voodoo tells everyone to get the Hulk into the pentagram. And of course, this is the Hulk and no one can actually move him. So Synapse uses all of her abilities to block the signal from the Hulk's inner ear into his brain, throwing off his balance and knocking him to the ground. Voodoo throws him a magical bubble to hold him there, and then he walks into the mess to take this to the magical plane. He walks inside and he finds Banner deep inside, suppressed by the Hand's magic, and he begins to remove the magical arrows. And the Hand's spirit arrives, telling him, stop. Voodoo tells Banner, do not speak. Your spirit is in jeopardy. And then he turns to the Hand's spirit. Release the Hulk. They warned Voodoo that if he does this, his brother's soul will belong to the Hand. Do you pick a friend or a brother? Voodoo continues to remove the magical arrows, telling them, I choose my brother, Banner, the Avenger, because Daniel damned himself. The Hand's spirit tells him that they will share his words with their new slave. And once free, Voodoo tells Banner, you are free. Walk in the peace of the light. I'm sorry that they abused you. Tears stream down Banner's face as they step out of the magical plane together, and Voodoo holds Banner's dead body once again. Deadpool puts Banner into a body bag, which leads to everyone asking why Deadpool's carrying around a body bag. And the next question comes up. Was this the last Avengers mission? Is the group done without Captain America? Rogue tells them like hell it is, and Deadpool reminds them that they have unfinished business. The Red Skull still stole Xavier's brain from his dead corpse, and he's still using it to have access to Xavier's powers. So the group decides that they will continue on without Steve Rogers. And Johnny asks Elektra if she'd like to join the Avengers. She laughs as she walks away, finding that hilarious. As everyone leaves, Rogue remembers how bad things have gotten. While she was dealing with the death and the disease that the X-Men have been coping with, she forgets the costs that the Avengers have paid. Hank Pym is worse than death, as he's now half Ultron. Odin's son is missing. Wonder Man is lost in her head somewhere, and now Tony Stark is down, and so is Banner. She can't shake the feeling that the worst is yet to come. And as she thinks about this, Quicksilver is wrestling with the Red Skull, still in his mind talking to him, telling him, bring the Avengers to me right now. And that concludes the Civil War tie-in for the Uncanny Avengers. The next storyline has already started if you want to go read it yourself, and oh my god is it good. The Red Skull is finally making a play against the Avengers. Check it out. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about this revival of the Hulk. I mean, I guess in the end, Ulysses' vision kind of came true. He tried to kill everyone. But hey, whatever. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ComicStorian, where we can chat about your favorite comic books and storylines all day and all night, and I will see you next time right here. What was Bruce Banner doing, you know, before he died?
What was he doing, indeed? Find out in a moment. Because I've got the basic colours down, like I said I was going to do. But yeah, let's get it back over to there. Let's bring this one down. Again, you can obviously tell that it's just the basic colour here, with just the basic undercolours from the. Let's get that a bit bigger actually. I probably can make that a little bit bigger. Give me a second. So we can have a good old decent look at it side by side. There we go. I'll make this a little bit bigger too. There we go. And then I'll give you a quick reveal. That's what I did for the Hulk. Check it out how I did and drew that one on paper, guys. Again, this is the paper version you can see here. But that's a half and half, another half and half video for another half and half time. I've done a Venom, and I've also done a Spider-Man, because I was just at the beginning I was just going to do a masked, but I thought because Hulk is obviously like he's half human and half Hulk, I thought it'd be quite cool to do a half and half. But yeah. What I've done here already, I said I've got to put in all of this tonal colour here, and a lot of the tonal colour here as well. Excuse me, hiccups. As you can see, yeah, I've got to put in the tonal colours for both sides. I'm going to put some more. I'm going to carry on here and do some ink. Do some hair for Banner, and I might do some colour for his eye as well. Get those eyes coloured in, get those teeth coloured in, get those lips as well on the Banner and all such. I'm going to be just basically putting all the basic colours down, and then I'll go in with another video to get the shading and toning. Because I've got a feeling this one's going to take me about 50 minutes to completely complete, and that's why I'll only make one video quickly, and then I'll come back and make another video today or tomorrow. It might be uploaded. I will be doing it all today, and it just all depends on how quickly I can get it uploaded for you guys to watch. Again, this isn't live, but the colouring and the pencil version is always live. I always do that on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday with the different stages of the building up the paper version for whatever I draw. Always a sketching on Monday, always inking on Tuesday, and on a Wednesday I will always colour that in. Thursday and Fridays are my digital days. I'm trying to get some digital VR art as well. I've got a VR system. I've done some VR art already. Made myself a room to walk around in, but I don't know what to do with it now. I've sort of come up short. I don't know what else to sort of do with that. So give me some requests and give me some ideas. What you want me to have a go at building or making, because it's something I want to learn how to do. So the more people that give me challenges, the more I learn how to do stuff, the same as I have done on the digital version I'm doing now. But that's enough of me waffling. I'm going to get back on listening to that playlist. Hopefully you can hear it okay. So yeah, I'm going to carry on going and get this finished. Or the basic first tones coloured finish. Keep watching.
Was he happy not being the Hulk? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible ways to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Today we're going to be covering a 2-issue arc that happened before Amadeus Cho's reaction to the death of Bruce Banner. This is going to answer the question of, was Bruce Banner happy when he didn't have to turn into the Hulk? Did he lead a peaceful life? You know, before they killed him. Our story begins 4 months ago, with Bruce Banner waking up in the middle of the street from another blackout. The only thing he can think of while he grabs a shirt from the nearby house is how many lives did he just ruin? How many billions of dollars in property damage did he just destroy? There is one thing that he does know, and that's that he's in hell, because he's the Incredible Hulk. A short while later, Bruce heads down the road to a bar to make a phone call, and as he talks to the bartender, a customer notices Bruce wearing his shirt. The man comes over punching him, calling him a thief, and Bruce tries to control his anger. But as the man continues to yell, Bruce sees nothing happen. He gets up laughing, and he leaves, but the man continues to follow. The man grabs a hold of Bruce ready to punch him, and then a green hand reaches out and stops him. Bruce looks up and asks, "Amadeus?" And Amadeus tells him, "Pretty awesome, huh?" After jumping through the Mojave Desert, Bruce asks him what's going on, and Amadeus explains that he cured him. Now Amadeus is the Hulk, check it out! The two enter into Bruce's old hideout, and Bruce says that he's been working on a cure for years. And Amadeus finishes stating, "I just finished the job." Back when Hulk was being a hero and absorbing the radiation from a collapsing nuclear facility, the Hulk started to have a meltdown of his own. With all of the smartest minds in the Marvel Universe working on this project, Tony determined that the only option to save everyone from that meltdown was to teleport the Hulk into the negative zone. But that's when he showed up, and not saying that he's the smartest person in the world, just the eighth, he fixed everything. Bruce asks what did he do, and Amadeus tells him, "It's a trade secret, but now you're totally gamma-free." Bruce takes the scanner and he shines it at Amadeus, stating, "Yeah, but you're not." Amadeus changes back into the Hulk, stating, "Yeah, but this is a good look on me." After leaving, Amadeus tells Bruce that he's had some anger issues on a whole nother level, but he's different. His Hulk is different. As he jumps away, Amadeus says that he doesn't have to worry about him. He's going to save the world and it's going to be awesome. But him? Bruce Banner is finally free. As the night sets, Bruce sits and meditates, thinking about how he's never been cured before. And no matter what the machines state, he can still feel him under the skin. Or can he? The next day, Bruce heads out to do the things that he's never been able to do before, like race around in a car at high speeds, cross a river and be chased by a bear, and then fall off the cliff while being chased by that bear. And finally, he returns to the place where he caused so much destruction, Las Vegas. Even though all of the people run away at the sight of Bruce, Bruce continues to play. That is, until he hears the voice of Tony Stark calling out to him. Tony tells him that he got Amadeus' data and it shows him totally gamma-free, but he does have one question to ask. Is he trying to kill himself? Bruce asks what does he mean, and Tony explains that he's been watching him ever since the cure. All he's been doing is putting himself in terrible danger. After all of the things that he's done, just one person out of the 10,000 people in the street need to recognize him and take a shot. And then Tony changes his tone and tells Bruce, "You know, it's not your fault." Bruce says that he doesn't know what he's talking about, and Tony continues to state that he knows that he doesn't want to think about this. And then Bruce tells him, "Shut up." Inside Bruce's head, he begins to think about all of the things that he's done as the Hulk, the places that he's been. But Bruce tells Tony that he's got a bigger problem to worry about, and that's forgiving him. The anger starts to build up in Bruce, and he shouts, "It's my fault, and I'll never forget that." But everyone kept pushing and pushing when I just wanted to be left alone. Bruce slams his fist down, but he doesn't change. Tony steps outside of his suit telling him, "You're right, and I'm sorry. So, if you want to take a shot at me, now's the time." Through his rage, Bruce begins to laugh. And then he hugs Tony. As the months begin to pass, Amadeus and his sister Mandy go out looking for Bruce in California because his body readings are going out of control, and Amadeus finds him laying on a beach, sick. Bruce says that he's got influenza. Isn't it amazing? It's the first time in years since he's been sick. So a little while later, Bruce finds himself in his hideout resting. Amadeus and Maddie make Bruce some soup, and suddenly there's a knock at the door. In comes Rick Jones and Jennifer Walters, and Amadeus asks, "What are they doing here?" Maddie says that she invited them. And Amadeus says the whole point of a secret hideout is to be secret. Rick tells him that he was in on this particular secret when he was in diapers. A short while later, everyone relaxes as Bruce continues to tack away at his computer. Rick tells him that he should stop with the sciencing thing and come play cards with them. And Bruce says maybe later. He's actually spending all of his time in Minecraft right now. Maddie asks if he's killed the Ender Dragon yet, and he tells her no. He's just been roaming around trying to find a jungle so that he can tame an ocelot. Maddie then asks if he's been setting up a base every night to stay in, and he tells her there's no need. He likes to play it on peaceful. Once Bruce finally falls asleep, Jennifer says that even though he's sick, Bruce seems so happy. She then tells Amadeus that she knows she had given him a hard time before, but she just wants to say. And as everyone turns back, they see Amadeus is gone. Elsewhere in the hideout, Amadeus looks at a vault, and Rick walks up stating that there's a lot of memories in that thing, particularly when he first watched Bruce change into that huge Hulk and lock himself in there. Rick goes on stating, well, that's all changed now, and then suddenly the door begins to close. Rick asks what's going on, and Amadeus says that he just wants to test something. Back out in the kitchen, Jennifer and Maddie begin to hear loud booms, and when they get to the vault, they see Amadeus breaking out of it. He tells him it really wasn't that strong, was it? Then he leaps away. Jennifer begins to chase after him, asking what the hell is going on, and he tells her that everything's fine, and Maddie flies by. A freeze beam fires out, and Amadeus comes crashing back down to the ground, and she tells him, that's enough, he needs to tell them. Amadeus tells her that there's nothing to tell, but she stops him and says, fine, she'll tell him. She turns back to Rick and Jennifer and tells them that Amadeus has been having blackouts where he doesn't remember being the Hulk, which is why they came to talk to Bruce. Amadeus gets a word in though, stating that Bruce is finally at peace. He can't go dumping this on him now. Jennifer just begins brushing away the ice, stating that it's just the gamma radiation amping up his emotions. They can work through it. But as he changes back, Amadeus says that this is different. He literally blacks out. The last time he helped Enchantress raid a Dwarven fortress. Rick asks if he's hurt anyone, and Amadeus tells him no, but his fear is that what if him and the Hulk have different ideas of who should be hurt during that blackout? Rick says that maybe he should talk to Bruce. Amadeus returns to the hideout and he finds Bruce sitting at the table, and he tells him that he should be in bed. Bruce said he's actually reading up on the hero ring thing that Amadeus has been doing. It's kind of ridiculous, but he's really doing it, so he can finally let it go. Amadeus stops and says, yeah. Bruce notices the dubious yet troubled smile. Bruce then asks, have you killed anyone? Amadeus tells him no, and Bruce goes on stating, I did once. When I was 4, I watched my father kill my mother, and years later, I killed him. Though I didn't mean to. The fact is, I did. Amadeus tells him that he's not a monster, and Bruce says that that's what he's always said even when the people didn't believe it. And then he says that if he isn't scared of him, how the hell can he be scared of himself? Amadeus sneezes, and Bruce looks up stating, you're burning up. So Bruce helps take care of Amadeus just as they took care of him. And at the end of the day, Bruce can look out into the fields and finally know peace. That is, until he was shot. You see, following these events, Bruce Banner was killed in the events of Civil War II. And Amadeus Cho, looking to him as a mentor, wasn't too happy about that. But that's a story that we'll be telling very soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tale, which explains what Bruce Banner was doing when he didn't have his powers finally. And don't forget, if you enjoy these stories, subscribe to this channel for more, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Comic Story. I'll see you next time right here.
Tired of people not taking your growing business seriously? At the Crystal Barn, so will we.
How is the new Hulk coping with the death of Bruce Banner? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down for you into digestible bites, and then I read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panel, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Time passed during the events of the Second Civil War, and a news report goes out regarding the recent killing of Bruce Banner by the hero who killed him, Clint Barton. Maddie listens in as the news goes on, talking about how Bruce Banner's Hulk was a monster. And even with their new Hulk, can that new Hulk be trusted? As Amadeus lays in his bed, Maddie brings him some soup and tells him to eat. Amadeus says that he's fine, and Maddie tells him that she knows what he's thinking. He cured Bruce, and if he hadn't when Barton came for him, Bruce never would have died. She tells him that it's not his fault. The last time that they saw Bruce, he was really happy. Genuinely happy. That's what Amadeus did for him. And then the sound of the doorbell stops Maddie. The two of them go to check who it is, and as Amadeus opens the door, he says, I know it's not my fault. It's theirs. Outside the door, Carol Danvers is waiting with soldiers all pointing their guns. Amadeus asks her, should I be worried? And Carol tells him no. They just wanted to see how he was doing. Amadeus says that he's fine, and even with 14 different kinds of sensors running tests on me right now, I'm perfectly normal and stable. Who would have thunk? However, according to my readings, Agent Jake over there with the ultrasonic sensor rifle is about to have a heart attack. Carol tells him that he needs to be serious for a minute, and Amadeus asks, you want serious? You shot my best friend in the eye in cold blood. I know you had your prophecy guy telling you that Bruce was going to kill everyone someday, but he was cured and he was happy. Carol tells him that the person who shot Bruce was completely unauthorized, and he's been taken into custody and he's been tried. But Amadeus stops her, telling her that he knows that in his brain, but in his heart, it's a little different. Amadeus then tells him, I know you're worried that I'm going to be going all crazy. Even I would be worried. I'm just a 19-year-old kid. I'm young and confused. All I want to do is mourn for a little while. Is that okay? Maddie shouts out, of course it is! Now everyone get the hell out of here! And Jake reports that all signs remain normal. And Carol tells him, of course they are. I'm sorry for your loss. Contact me if you ever need me. Before leaving, Amadeus calls out to Carol and asks, if I was to go crazy, what makes you think you could stop me? Carol stares back, and then she watches Amadeus smile. And then she smiles and tells him to take care. A little while later, Amadeus is jumping through West Virginia while Carol watches from above in the SHIELD helicarrier. Jake reports that his readings are going off the charts. He's just going crazy. Amadeus continues punching away, and a voice tells them that they need to intervene right now. Carol continues to watch and then tells them to wait. There it is. On the screen they see the message, "Made you look," punched into the ground. Soon Amadeus' levels return to normal and Carol says they should back off for a bit. And a voice tells her, yes, she needs to back off. And then T'Challa says, I'll take it from here. A short while later, T'Challa takes off in his jet and Agent Jake tells him that it's seriously an honor to come with him on this mission. He's read every debrief about all of T'Challa's missions. And T'Challa stops him stating, I've read about you too. How you served under James Rhodes. James Rhodes who was just killed in one of Carol's missions. So maybe you might be mad at her? And on the other hand, I nearly killed James in the first war between the heroes. So maybe you're mad at me. So what is it that you think you're doing here? Jake stops for a minute and then he says, he joined S.H.I.E.L.D. because he believes that there are some problems in the world that can't be solved without force. And the Hulk may be one of those problems. He also believes that force should be the last resort. He doesn't want to see Amadeus end up like James. T'Challa tells him that he speaks to the King of Wakanda. Every moment of his conscious life, he has to weigh the consequences of fighting and failing to fight. So, with the lives of thousands in the balance, does he really think that he has something to contribute to that? Jake then says, he's a soldier. The kind of grunt who has to deal with those decisions made by kings. So yes sir, he does. T'Challa and Jake go back to monitoring Amadeus, and they continue to read that his readings are normal. And then they see him write the word buy and ketchup on the table. And then all of the monitors suddenly go out. Out on the road, Amadeus races down the street when a shadow begins to form over him, and Maddie yells that he needs to stop. She's been watching his movements and she knows where he's heading, so what the hell is he thinking? He tells her that Barton killed Bruce, and Maddie adds, because Bruce told him to. Everyone saw the video played at the trial. Amadeus shouts, he wasn't in control! I cured him! There's no way that Bruce would have turned into the Hulk again. And Maddie asks, what is he going to do when he finds Barton? Amadeus tells her, I'll figure that out when I see him. Maddie begins to get reports that there is a new monster sighted in Austin, Texas. And it's a job for the Hulk, so they need to head. Amadeus stops her, telling her not to distract him. Besides, he's already tracking a monster, so send Carol Danvers to Austin. Later that night, Amadeus swims through the ocean until he arrives on a beach. As he walks through the woods, he finds a cabin, and inside, Clint Barton is sitting eating his cereal when the door swings open and Amadeus is standing there. Clint tells him, I know you're angry. And Amadeus begins to change into the Hulk, and he tells him, you have no idea. Clint tells him, I thought so. And then he begins to fade, and T'Challa is standing in his place. Amadeus shouts, where's Barton? And T'Challa tells him, nowhere that you're gonna find him. Outside of the cabin, barriers start to close off the area, and Amadeus manages to jump out just as they're closing. As he does, T'Challa jumps after him in his own Hulkbuster armor, firing a sonic gun. Amadeus pulls back and releases a powerful clap that sends the suit flying. Jake reports that the gamma levels are spiking, and next T'Challa fires a spore cloud to try and knock out Amadeus. Through the smoke, Amadeus punches back, and then he runs over stating, I didn't come here to fight. And T'Challa tells him, then you need to surrender. Amadeus tells him, you have no right to make those demands. I didn't do anything. I just came here too. And T'Challa reaches out and grabs onto him. He tells Amadeus that the armor absorbs and magnifies energy, so the more he fights, the stronger that T'Challa's gonna get. T'Challa goes on stating, you can surrender. But then the radio goes off as Maddie calls in. Amadeus tells her that he's fine, and she tells him, well, she's not. She's in Texas and they have a big problem. Just 15 minutes before Maddie made her call, the streets of Austin were filled with people, in particular one boy who was watching the people. He watches how everyone is happy, and how boring that is. The boy then cuts the string off of the child's balloon, and as the child cries, he says, well, that's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. And then he begins to change. As the people begin to run, an explosion goes off. And back in Arkansas, the struggle between Amadeus and T'Challa continues as T'Challa pins Amadeus down. While Amadeus is trying to fight back, Maddie continues telling him what's going on out in Texas. Soon the rage begins to run through Amadeus, and he rips off one of the suit's arms. T'Challa shouts for Jake to teleport him out, but Jake says that the energy coming off of him, it's like, wait, he set off a mini EMP. As the Hulkbuster loses power, Amadeus begins jumping away, and over in Texas, Maddie tries to fight off the giant bug creature. The monster tells her that she's all locked up, totally under control. So he swings at her again and he tells her,
how about you feel some fear? Maybe grief? How about anger?
The creature then notices a woman trying to run away and he slashes away at her chest. Once the woman falls, the child begins to cry and the creature says,
that's what I'm looking for.
Maddie manages to shock the creature and tells Amadeus that the creature is some kind of emotional leech. So if you want to beat it, you need to control yourself. The creature jumps back up, slashing towards Maddie and knocking her down. And he tells her,
yes, You're finally losing it. I love that anger.
Suddenly, a shadow appears overhead and Amadeus comes crashing down onto the creature. The two start punching away at each other and the creature tells him,
This is so good.
with the emotions that Amadeus is going through, the creature slowly begins to get larger and it cuts down on Amadeus' face. Maddie shouts to stop. All you're doing is feeding him. And Amadeus tells her, I know. And soon Amadeus turns the struggle and throws the creature onto his back, punching him harder and deeper into the ground. He shouts, No one can stop me. I'm the strongest that there is. Then soon the creature calls out,
Yes, pride. I love it.
Once the creature stands back up, it starts swinging its claws, cutting into Amadeus. And as blood begins to drip from his wounds, Amadeus stands in shock, and then he falls over. The creature reaches out and grabs a hold of the child from there and begins walking down the alleyway. Maddie chases after it, but the creature is gone. And Amadeus starts to get back up, and Maddie then says, When are you going to listen? T'Challa and Jake then make their way to the scene, and Amadeus tells them, Please, help me. Amadeus begins to change back into his human form, stating, That monster took the kid. We need to find. And suddenly a laser is fired out, hitting Amadeus. T'Challa looks back, and Jake says they have to stick to the plan. They have to send him into the negative zone. Maddie begins to shout, What? No, no, no! We don't have time for this! Everyone's gonna have to suck it up and work together. T'Challa and Jake help the woman up, and T'Challa agrees to help, and Amadeus and Maddie get back to work trying to figure out what their next move is. As they look into the alleyway, they see a crack in the ground, and Maddie says that the monster just changed size. Amadeus looks and says that it's an irregular shaft about 10 inches wide at its narrowest, which means him and Maddie are the only ones who can fit. T'Challa tells him, Fine, but no fighting. I'll give you orbs so we can track you while I find another way down. Soon, Amadeus and Maddie start making their way down, and Jake radios in that the subject's name is Christian Sung. He's a music student from Johnson State and has no criminal record. As they get further down in the hole, Maddie begins to notice that the passage is a little too narrow for her, and then she realizes that Amadeus did that on purpose. Once he jumps down into the sewer, he tells her exactly, and he runs off ahead. He then turns the corner and he sees Christian holding the screaming child. Christian says that the child is very, very scared, and Amadeus tells him, yeah, we should get him back to his mother. Christian then says, I like scared, but it's getting boring, and he holds the child over the ledge. Amadeus tells him that they all just need to calm down. And Christian says, I know all about you and the fact that you're the Hulk. I know all about the anger, fear, pride, the emotions inside of you. So I'm going to kill as many people as I can just to see what I can get out of you. Suddenly, Christian releases the child, but before the child can land, T'Challa jumps through, catching him. Amadeus changes back into the Hulk and he grabs a hold of Christian, and he tells Jake to activate the negative zone teleporter. Jake begins working away, and then Maddie overrides his computer, telling him that he will not be sending him because that will also send Amadeus with him. Amadeus struggles with Christian and tells her, I have to do it. And Maddie tells him no, but Amadeus tells her, shut up and just let me do it. Maddie finally falls through the cracks, and then Christian focuses his attention towards her. She begins firing her gun, changing her emotions, and Christian shouts,
So good.
and then Maddie shouts, now! And Christian suddenly stops, and then a light shines as the teleporter takes him away. Amadeus says, that was amazing. And Maddie says, yeah, okay then, bye. Amadeus asks where she's going, and she stops and turns and tells him, I'm done with all of this. Every time you say you're learning or you're getting a little bit better, you just fall back down. So I'm not going to be your enabler because you might hurt someone someday. I don't want to hear any more excuses. You should never have become the Hulk. A week passes, and Amadeus finally manages to track down the man that he's been looking for, Clint Barton. As he walks into the diner, he tells him that he shouldn't be alone. It's dangerous for him. And Clint says that he really doesn't know what he wants, but he did kill Bruce for good reasons. He's been thinking about those reasons over and over ever since then. Amadeus smashes his fist down and he says that he told Carol that she couldn't stop him if he wanted to kill Clint. No one can stop him. Not her, not S.H.I.E.L.D., not even his sister. It felt good to look her in the eyes and tell her that. Rather, actually know that. Like, I'm in charge. As Clint sits without saying a word, Amadeus changes back, stating, all I really want is my friend back. I shouldn't even be here. Bruce wouldn't have wanted this. He would have said everything's gonna be okay. And Amadeus looks at Clint, but I'm not okay. Not even a little bit. Clint looks at him, and tears begin to stream down his face. And he tells him, neither am I. Amadeus begins to cry with him, and the two of them just sit there. And that brings us to the conclusion of how Amadeus dealt with the death of Bruce Banner. But he's not the only Hulk out there. If you want to know what's happening with She-Hulk, go pick up the latest Hulk. But it's time for us to move on to another Civil War II storyline. If you enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and I'll see you next time right here at the Comicstorian channel. Steve Rogers has had his entire history altered, making it so that within his entire timeline, he was Hydra. And he finally felt that it was time for Hydra to take over, so he systematically conquered the US. The heroes were pushed to the side as fugitives, the X-Men pushed to the north in their own nation, and the Inhumans were all locked up. The Resistance thought that this was the end. until the secret of what had happened to Steve finally reached their ears. A spark of hope was ignited, and they set off into two groups, one to kill Steve.
Yeah, we're not listening to Captain America because one, I'm not a great fan of a Captain America, and we're not doing Captain America. We're doing a Hulk at the moment, as you know. We're just finished. For some reason, we've finished one set of the stories, and it's gone to Captain America. It did that last time, so I'm going to leave it here for now. And as you can see, I've pretty much got all the basic colouring done now. I'm just going to quickly put in a bit of a background. This is just sort of so it has a background. It probably won't stay that colour, and it probably won't stay like that because I want to get some tones, some colours, and do some more detail to the eyes. As you can see, they're only just basic white coloured over now. I've done the lips, I've done the shirt, and I've done all of the Hulk that I want to do. Done the mouth here, as you can see. I put a different tone that I'm probably thinking about. I probably need to do the lips of the Hulk. So let's do that quickly. Let's get the right tone, make sure I'm on the right thing. Go to the Hulk. I don't want to make it the same colour as that, so I will ever so slightly change that colour. What colour have I got on here actually? Okay, I suppose I could colour pick it, but there's no point really. Yeah, so we'll quickly do this. But hopefully, guys, you have enjoyed it. You've maybe learned something. I don't know if you need to learn. If you not really a teaching video. It's more of a I can do this. Do you enjoy it videos? There we go. Yeah, more of a do you enjoy them? Do you like watching me draw? Do you enjoy the way that I draw? Do you like my art? I know you guys do like Comic Storian. As any comic fanatic or any comic person that likes to read comics will like Comic Storian, because if you don't always have the money to buy a comic, they're a good way of keeping you up to date, letting you know what is going on in the comic world, because they don't always get things right when they do the films. As a lot of the MCU, you'll notice that a lot of the MCU films are very, very loosely based on the comics. That is because for some reason all the MCU stuff is based on the Ultimate versions. And I'm not being funny, guys. In the comics, they dumped that idea, so I don't know why they went with it with the films. Especially for the Spider-Man. I don't like the Ultimate Spider-Man. Nobody likes the Ultimate Spider-Man. That's why they cancelled it and killed the character off. And then people moaned because they killed the character off, so they had to bring him back in some way, but they couldn't bring him back because they just didn't want to. So they turned him into Miles Morales. Hence why you've got Miles Morales now all of a sudden popping up. That's for the new fans. Well, again, that's Spider-Man, and we were doing the Hulk. I personally didn't know there was another Hulk. So again, when I listen to Comic Storian, I get an update on what the hell's been going on. I mean, I didn't even know that Bruce Banner had been killed, let alone been cured. Getting this last little bit of colour here. Yeah, I didn't know that that he had been killed. I thought he was still ticking. What we've been listening to is a bit back and forth with it, but I think that's how they did it in the comics. How they so you got bits of it, but not all of it, because what they do in comics, especially now the MCU's sort of really picked up, they have little bits of everything and everywhere, so they all intertwine it all. But I would call this done. Shit. Shit. That's good enough. Excuse me. Yeah, I would call this done for today. There's your basic colour done. There will be tones, there will be colours, there will be shadings, there will be textures, and all loads of good stuff added to this yet. So don't forget to hit subscribe, guys. My name is Blut084, BLUT084, Art and Games. I'm here every single day on YouTube, either drawing or gaming. So don't forget to keep tuned. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed that. Tune in next time, or click on the next video if you're watching back, to see how far and what I'll do next. As you can see, I've done stuff on the paper version, and that's where we're going, and we're going to be aiming to do into future videos. So keep tuning, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Hit those links and hit my face. So I hit the links to see what else there is up on my channel, Art and Games, and hit the middle to subscribe. Or go down and hit that subscribe button, it's red. Bye.